Hello, this is a separate video that I've done to have a think about how we do our warm-ups before we start to play, and sort of some simple exercises that you can do at the start of each practice session that you do. Now, some of these ideas I've taken from a video of Nicola Benedetti, and she in turn took this from some warm-ups from the Scottish Systema programme by Frances Cummings. So I've sent through the link to the longer video of that so you can see them in their original form. I've done a slightly quicker version today so that you can use this every time you get your instruments out. Now we're going to do a really basic warm-up with our instruments today, and then each session they're going to get slightly more complicated, so we'll see how we go. Okay, so we have fidgeting fingers, so we get our fingers, all of the fingers moving. You can do them as little stars, or you can get all your fingers going in turn, feel all the joints. Okay, and then we're going to do our rotating wrists. Now, if you want to just do it really gently, round one way, and then round the other, that way. And then you can hold your wrist and just do it gently, one way, and then the other. This one, and back the other way. It's hard to work out which way they're going. Back the other way. Okay, with your feet hip width apart, we're going to swing our arms and make sure everything's nice and loose, and then we're going to elevate our elbows. So when we bring our elbows up, what we don't want is our shoulders to come up as well. So we feel that our arms are nice and loose in their sockets and they just float up. And one of my teachers often said, imagine that you're sort of being suspended by your elbows on a washing line. So they go up and you're pegged and you're sort of hanging there. And then what we can do is we can go up into our playing position. So if you're a cellist, you're sort of, excuse my cello technique, so you sort of flop and pretend that you're playing an air instrument. Or if you're a violinist or a violist, you flop into your sort of heavy playing position. So this elbow comes out to the side and this elbow swings under. So they actually do quite a similar movement. Okay, shoulders, we're going to shrug our shoulders up to our ears, try and keep your neck long, and drop, and again, and drop, one more time, and drop, and we're going to shiver our shoulders. Try and keep your hips still if possible, just move your shoulders. I find this one really hard. Okay, then we're going to have, they call it a noble neck. So we're going to keep our neck sort of and chin aligned with our body, and we're just going to move it to one side, like you're a king or queen, surveying your people very disdainfully down your nose. To the other side, round to the front. Round to the front, and back round. Now, they call it bobbing bodies. Get your knees unlocked. Now you can do these all in the other direction. Start with your feet and work upwards. So we're going to be doing these every week, and you can experiment with what works better for your body. Okay, we're going to sway our hips from side to side. You can't see mine, but you can probably see the bottom bit of my body. Try and keep your rib cage fairly still, so that it's just your ribs that are your hips that are working. Ribs are still. And then we're going to try and do hula hoops with our hips. So again, try and keep your upper body still. I'm actually quite glad you can't see my hips. This like this, and then back the other way. There we go. And then on our toes, we're going to go up onto our high heels. So roll through your feet and come up onto your toes. Try not to let your ankles roll out sideways. Try and keep them supported underneath, and go back down again. And we're going to have twitching toes, so just roll back onto the heels of your foot and just lift your toes up and wriggle them like you were with your fidgeting fingers. Okay, And then what you should feel when you're lifting up these toes is that your weight is on the weight of the ball of the foot, of the big toe, the ball of the little toe, and the heel. So you sort of got like a little triangle for your feet, for your weight to go. And remember, your feet are hip width apart and parallel. Okay, and then with our feet, we're going to roll onto our toes. Again, try not to make the ankles go out. Ooh, your balance is probably better than mine. And then roll back. Feel the weight planting on the big toes, the little toes, the ball bits of the foot, and the heel. So that whole core of our body, our knees are not locked, our arms are swinging, our shoulders are shrugged and down. We've got support with our hips that are underneath our rib cage, and this whole sort of middle section of our body is sort of active and ready, and our arms are feeling loose and floppy, and our fingers relaxed, alert and ready. Okay, so once we're in that position, I want to talk to you about our bowing. Now, we did a little bit of this last time. I didn't really talk to you about how to coordinate your bowing with your breath, and it's something that as string players we don't talk about much. As woodwind players we really do. So for the moment, I want you to imagine that any sound that you're making with your bow has to come from your body, like we were doing in choir. So when we breathe in choir, I like you to talk about filling the back of your lungs, from the back of your rib cage. Can you see how much that goes out? It gives you an awful lot of space, and we're not lifting our shoulders, and we're not trying to take in air up in the top of our chest. We're expanding all through the core and taking a big deep breath through. So it's exactly the same breathing technique as we do in choir. So first off, we're not going to have the bow. We're just going to get into a playing position. So cellists, this is bringing up your arm in a relaxed way and sitting nicely with the cello. So when cellists obviously do the warm-up all through the body like I've just done, and then when you sit down, the weight has to come through your hip bones into the chair, but you still need to stay alert and with the weight into your feet. Okay, so we're going to just get our breathing sort of ready. So we're going to do a breath in for 4 and out for 4. So we're going to breathe in, 3, 4, filling up our lungs, and breathe out through our mouth. 2, breathe in through your nose for 4, 2, 3, 4, and out through your mouth. Now this time, when you breathe in, I want you to bring the instrument up to your playing position. Cellos, I want you to bring your arms up, but I want you to try and keep your basic posture that same sort of relaxed but alert and ready. So we're going to breathe in, and the instrument comes to you, and breathe out. Make sure your jaw's not locked. Check all of your body. We're going to breathe in again and bring the instrument to you. Breathe in and out. Now, I made a little adjustment with my neck there, which is actually a very bad habit that I've got. So it's something I'm trying to unlearn. So just notice what your body wants to do when the instrument comes close to you. So again, we're going to breathe in. An instrument comes to your active, calm, relaxed posture. Okay, and then just get your if you're a violinist or a violist, keep your arm sort of near the neck of the instrument so that your elbow is free to waggle. Your shoulder is still down. If it feels like it's come up, shrug them up and drop them down again. Okay, so you have that sort of freedom, and just take a few breaths in and out, in through your nose, out through your mouth, with your instrument in your body space, and just see if you can notice any bits of your body that are starting to tense up with your instrument there, and see if you can just get them back into the posture that we've been doing. So in and out. Check your knees aren't locked. And out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to try and coordinate our in-breath with lifting the bow ready to play, and our out breath is going to be with a down bow. Now I'm going to keep for the moment to a 4-beat pattern. So I'm going to breathe in and get the bow ready with my in breath, and then I'm going to breathe out for 4 beats. And don't worry too much about the sound you're making necessarily at the moment. Don't try and control anything. Just feel like that out breath is coming through your bowing arm. So we're comfortable, we've got unlocked knees, feet hip width apart, back isn't arched, jaws loose, shoulders shrugged up and down, nice neutral position, arms heavy with their natural weight. Okay, so breathe in, 3, 4, and out. In and out. One more. In and out. Now, I'm going to try exactly the same exercise. Now this feels less intuitive because on our out bow we're going to be taking an up bow with our bow. Okay, so we're going to breathe in to prepare and out. In and out. Once more, in and out. Okay, now we're going to combine the two. So we're going to have an in breath to prepare, we're going to do an out breath on a down bow, we're going to keep the bows even at the moment, and we're going to go a down bow for 4 beats, up bow for 4 beats, down bow 4 beats, up beat for 4 beats, but actually we're not thinking of it in those terms, we're actually just thinking we're going to do an in breath, an out breath, an in breath, an out breath. Now your lungs are obviously a different shape and size to mine, and following my breathing pattern, especially if you're little, might be tricky. But this is just to give you an idea, and then it's something you can experiment with during the week. So you might want to do it for 3 beats. Your beats might be quicker than mine. You need to sort of develop what a natural slow breath feels like for you, and then you let your bow be guided by that. Okay, so we're going to set our posture, lift the toes, drop them, go up onto your toes, back onto your heels, bounce our knees, check our hips, shrug your shoulders, down, noble neck. Breathe in and bring the instrument into your space. And then on the next in-breath we prepare the bow. And out. It may seem really simple, but actually there's an awful lot going on. Getting your posture right, coordinating your bow with your breath, but what we're aiming for is a really, really, really relaxed stance and sound when we're playing. So that's the exercise this week, is just coordinating the bow evenly with your in-breaths and out-breaths. If you want to then develop it, you can put it into a really simple scale. But you will find that when you're actually adding the notes in, let's say to a D major 1-octave scale, and you're thinking about your posture, and you're thinking about your breath, and you're thinking about your bow, and then you're thinking about your tuning and your things, you suddenly might start gripping and feel intention. So if you're starting to then get tension back into your playing, that's not what the warm-up is about. It's about really coordinating your body with your instrument and feeling that gorgeous sort of resonance of the sound, and that connection, which will then sort of make you realise why you're doing this in the first place, and how lovely it is to play an instrument, even if you've been told to go and do your practice and you're not quite in the mood. This should hopefully get you in the mood, get you in the zone for being creative and making some lovely music. Okay.